Okay, let's talk about the eye drop aisle. You walk in, and it's just a wall of boxes. It can feel so overwhelming, especially when you're just trying to deal with that daily nagging discomfort of dry, sensitive eyes. So the goal here is simple. We're going to cut through all that noise and give you a really calm, practical way to choose the right drops for you so you can finally get some relief without all the guesswork. And that just hits home, doesn't it? It's such a common feeling, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating. It's this constant, low-level battle that can really just wear you down. But the good news is, a little bit of the right knowledge can make a huge, huge difference. So here's the secret, and it's actually pretty simple. For a minute, I want you to forget all the fancy brand names. For seniors, or really anyone with sensitive eyes, the two things that really truly matter are the ingredients, and maybe more importantly, what's left out, and the actual physical package that the drop comes in. If you get these two things right, you are most of the way there to finding real, lasting comfort. All right, so where do we even begin? Let's start with the single most important decision you can make. This is your #1 filter when you're looking at that wall of options, making sure the drops you pick are preservative-free. So why is this such a big deal? Well, preservatives are, they're great for keeping a big multi-dose bottle of something from going bad. But for our eyes, especially older, more sensitive eyes where the tear film might be a bit more fragile, repeated exposure to those chemicals can cause a lot of irritation. So going preservative-free, or PF, just takes one common source of irritation right out of the equation. And this really lays out the trade-off perfectly. Look, if you only use eye drops once in a blue moon, preserved drops are probably fine. But if you're reaching for them throughout the day, every day, preservative-free is just the smarter, safer default. It helps get rid of that mystery irritation, where you're not sure if it's your eyes that are stinging or the drop itself. And this isn't just a random tip. I mean, the Mayo Clinic gives a very clear guideline on this. If you find yourself using artificial tears more than 4 times a day, they strongly recommend you switch to a preservative-free option. This isn't just marketing. It's a real practical safety measure to protect your eyes from chemicals they just don't need. Okay, so you're on board with preservative-free. Fantastic. Now you've got your next choice, and it has nothing to do with the liquid inside the container, but the container itself. And this is where the real world, the practical side of things, becomes just as important as the ingredients. And this really gets to the heart of the matter for so many people. We're all kind of trained to look at the price tag first, right? But for anyone dealing with arthritis or a tremor or just not having the grip strength they used to, the real cost is measured in frustration. I mean, the cheapest eye drop in the world is worthless if you can't actually get it into your eye. So let's break this down. On one hand, you have the single-use vials. For hygiene, they are the absolute gold standard. You just twist the top off, use it, and toss it. Almost zero risk of contamination. The downside? Those tiny little plastic things can be a real struggle for stiff fingers. Then you have the special multi-dose preservative-free bottles. They might be easier to hold and squeeze, but you have to be really careful not to touch the tip to your eye or your skin. It really is a personal choice based on what your hands can do day in and day out. I saw this firsthand with my own father. He was struggling with the bottles, missing his eye, getting so frustrated. And when I just bought some of the single-use vials and put them by his chair, the biggest change wasn't just the relief for his eyes, it was the relief from that daily struggle. The right package gave him back a sense of dignity, of not failing at a simple task, and you can't put a price on that. Now, even when you've picked the right type of drop, there are a few common mistakes that can completely sabotage your comfort. So let's quickly go over the 3 biggest comfort killers that people fall into, often without even realizing it. First up, and this is a big one, using Get the Red Out drops for dryness. They are not the same thing. Those drops work by shrinking blood vessels, and over time, they can make irritation even worse. Second, contaminating the tip of the bottle is a real risk. Always try to steady your hand on your cheek to get a good aim. And third, if a drop isn't working for you, try a different format, like switching from a watery drop to a thicker gel before you go out and try 5 different brands of the exact same type of thing. And that brings us right to the idea of format. The thickness of the drop really matters. During the day, you want a thinner lubricant that gives you comfort without blurring up your vision. But at night, when a little blur doesn't matter, a thicker gel or an ointment can give you much longer-lasting protection while you sleep. It's all about using the right tool for the job. Okay, this is a big one. It's so frustrating. You've done everything right. You bought the good stuff, the gentle, preservative-free drops, and ouch! It still stings a little when you put it in. It's so easy to panic and think you bought the wrong thing, but let's talk about what's actually going on here. Here's the key thing to understand. That sting might not actually be the drop's fault. Your own natural tears have a very specific pH and salt balance. If the surface of your eye is already inflamed or has microscopic little rough spots from being so dry, then almost any drop, no matter how gentle, can feel a little sharp at first as your eye adjusts. A quick sting that disappears in a minute is very different from a burning sensation that lasts and lasts. All right, we've covered a lot of the theory. So how do we actually put this into practice? Instead of just buying a dozen different boxes and hoping for the best, let's use a simple, structured trial to figure out what really works for you. This is so simple, but so effective. Here's what you're going to do. Pick one format, let's say the preservative-free vials. Then commit to using only that product for 1 full week. And during that week, you're going to be a detective. You're just going to collect a little bit of data. This takes all the emotion and guesswork out of it and gives you real information to work with. And what are you tracking? Just 3 simple things. No complicated spreadsheets, I promise. First, does it sting when you put it in? Just a simple yes or no. Second, does it make your vision blurry? And if so, for how long? And maybe most important, how many times during the day did you feel like you needed to use it? A drop that you only need 3 times is clearly working better than one you're reaching for 8 times. This is the data that tells the true story. So to bring this all home, let's just boil it all down into a simple mental checklist. Think of this as your 60-second decision map you can use the next time you're standing in that pharmacy aisle feeling totally overwhelmed. It really is this easy. Step 1, think about frequency. If you're using drops more than 4 times a day, just start with preservative-free, period. Step 2, be honest about your hands. Is opening those little vials or aiming a bottle hard? Choose the package that works for you, not against you. And step 3, think about your schedule. Need clear vision for driving or reading? Use thinner drops during the day and save those thicker gels for overnight relief. And I just want to leave you with this final thought. So often we define value by the price on the box. But when you're dealing with chronic discomfort, the true value is in a product that you can use easily, that gives you reliable relief, and, maybe most importantly, that removes a source of daily frustration from your life. The goal here isn't just to treat dry eyes. It's to buy back your comfort and your peace of mind.